everyone, welcome to this meditation to help you ground this Capricorn full moon. I decided to record this just because of what I've kind of seen in my own home from myself and from my kids. Whenever there's a full moon, often I really notice for myself especially, my energy is just buzzing. I found myself over the last couple of days doing things that I never do. Yesterday I was hoovering out the car. I never do that. I went to the post office, another thing I just never do. It's been this real kind of organized, fast-paced energy, which has been really useful and really great. And then today I met the polarity. So I went from this like buzz, like non-stop all day, to waking up this morning being like, oh, I'm exhausted. And on a personal level, so I always know around full moon, I really need to ground and connect because I'm up here otherwise. You might find this as well. So my little boy, Kobe, he is has any problems with sleeping. And then when full moon hits, he cannot sleep. He was lying in bed last night, 9 o'clock, he was calling me in. Mummy, I can't stop thinking about bad things, and I can't stop worrying about things. And this is such a kind of full moon thing that occurs for a lot of people. And it's just really interesting to see it and how it plays out in children as well, bless him. So he's also exhausted. So this full moon is in Capricorn. And Capricorn's energy Capricorn is a real doer. My rising sign is Capricorn. We like to deliver. We like deadlines. We like to succeed. You know, Capricorn's that very driven kind of energy, and I think that might be coming through for a lot of people as well. This full moon. What often happens in the full moon as well is it illuminates. You can just imagine the full moon shining this huge beam, this massive spotlight on anything that you're currently experiencing. That might be really great stuff, or it might be really challenging, frustrating stuff, or a mix of both. But it will often illuminate what it is that we need to deal with, what it is that we maybe have suppressed, pushed down, not ready to kind of look at. The full moon, especially this one now, it's a super moon. It's the biggest super moon that we'll have this year. It's bringing stuff to the surface so that we have to kind of sit with it, process it, and deal with it as best we can, so that it doesn't stay in our bodies and in our tissues. So whatever you're feeling right now, know that it's perfectly normal. There's so much going on in the world as well. You know, there's so many places that we could be putting our focus and worrying and feeling anxiety around. I think now is the time to really come into the vessel of our own being, and to know that no matter what storms are happening outside in the world, you know, in our own personal worlds and in the big, huge collective world, we can stay in our center. And when we can do that, we're able to deal with life much easier. All right, it's a challenging time. So I really hope this meditation helps you ground. It's not just for now, you can use it at any point, but come and get comfy, we'll begin. So you might find a cross-legged seat. Maybe your sit bones are elevated. I'm on my bolster today, kneeling. So just find whatever's comfy for you. And as you come into your seat, blink your eyes closed. And you're going to sway between your sit bones. You're swaying almost like a really slow pendulum, rocking from side to side, feeling both sit bones like the anchors of the pelvis. Using this slow and subtle rocking motion to really start to bring you into being here, now, in the moment that you're choosing to practice with me and to do this with me. And what I love about this kind of online realm is that we are all in different times, in different spaces, different time zones, and at different times. Yet we're all so intimately connected. We are still able to connect through space and time, and that is really magical. Slow down your rocking until you become something like still. then let an audible sigh go. From there, you're just gently going to rock from your tailbone now to your pubic bone. So rocking the pelvis forwards and back, you'll go through a slight pelvic tilt. And again, it's a quiet, soft and subtle movement, nothing heavy, nothing rushed. And then come and find the epicenter, the absolute center for you. Sit bones, pubic bone, tailbone. And once you find it, roll your shoulders forward, squeeze them right up towards your ears. Draw them back and let them melt down. And allow yourself to find yourself in the moment. Find the physical. What is the most tangible sensation that you can feel now that brings you right into your body, right into pure presence? Feel the weight of your shin bones and your thigh bones hugged to the ground by gravity. You can almost imagine that gravity has these tiny little hands and it's hugging you closer to the earth, allowing you to be really held. And from the waistband down, feel a density, a letting go. And the more you can feel that weightiness from the waistband through to the toes, you can hopefully then start to feel the rebound, the levity that occurs as we let go of the lower body. The upper body rises up without effort. Allow the spine to organize herself into natural curves. Notice where your head is in relation to the ribs and the pelvis. Maybe you need to draw the chin towards the throat a little bit. Maybe you've been looking at a screen a lot and your head's starting to come forwards. Can you allow yourself to reorient to neutral? And then as you find that neutral space, notice, how does the breath feel now? Maybe there's a little bit more ability for your diaphragm to move. Feel the weight of your arm bones draping down towards the ground. Put your hands somewhere that your arm bones don't need to work to keep them upright. And with your awareness, visualize drawing around the edges of your body. Almost like your awareness could be a cool fingertip, just tracing the lines of the physical. And as you paint around the masterpiece of you, where could you soften more? Where could you allow the stories to melt away? And once you've painted around the landscape of your physical form, and you've allowed any tensional aspects just to soften a fraction more, start to bring all of your attention, all of your awareness to the breath, without changing or manipulating it in any way, just your breath as it is right now, as a gateway to knowing what it is that might be happening for you right now, in terms of your nervous system and how you feel. So if your breath is feeling high up in the chest or short, you might recognize you maybe feel a bit anxious or stressed or busy-minded. See if you can let your shoulders really relax. Allow the diaphragm to move. So as we inhale, the diaphragm hopefully should be descending down in the full circumference of your ribs. As the diaphragm descends down, it sucks air into the lungs, presses down into the lower abdominal organs. The pelvic floor lengthens a little bit. And then as we exhale, everything returns back to neutral. Everything returns home. Inhaling, we expand. We go down into the depths of ourselves. Exhaling, we come back to neutral. We come back home. See if you can get lost with the spaciousness of the breath. How low and slow can you breathe? How grounded can you allow yourself to feel right now through the connection to the breath and the body? Don't allow the breath to bring any tension to the body. So if you're having to use your shoulders or, kind of really suck the air in, try and relax around the breath a bit more. And as you anchor into the breath, because the breath is that, we have the breath available to us at any point of any day, that anchor to presence, that anchor to non-reactivity. I'm practicing the pause right now, the children being, I've got 2 children, they're both in challenging phases of their lives, as children always are. I'm practicing the pause, right? Before I respond, pause, breathe, and then respond. So we have that moment before stimulus, before we respond, where we can be like, ground, and then come through with more compassion, more grounded awareness. So as you anchor into the breath, notice, what is your mind asking you to do? Where is it trying to take you? What busy thoughts are you working with? How is this full super moon kind of coming through for you? If you have Capricorn in any of your chart, you might be feeling it more. Equally, if you've got Cancer in your chart, we're in the Cancer time as well, the highly watery emotive space. Emotions are high, right? There is so much going on. There could be, if we allowed there to be, so much to worry about. But what does worrying do? It doesn't change anything. So how can we come back? Come back to ground, come back to breath, come back to trust. So wherever your mind is right now, give it a smile, give it a nod. Say, hi brain, thank you for trying to keep me safe, and thank you for being so good at organizing and doing all the time. Brains are amazing for that, right? They're brilliant. We don't want them to stop doing what they do. But at the same time, we have to discern and know that they don't have to throw us around in the huge waves of every day. We have the power to be grounded. We have the power to choose where we place our attention. I said this to my little boy last night when he couldn't sleep. I said, listen, you can let your brain take you to the scary places, the things that you worry about, or you can choose to focus on the happy times. I said to him, I remember the time we were chasing the waves in Portugal. That was a happy time. He loved that. And so he focused on that and he soon slept. And so we can do that for ourselves. It's like parenting ourselves, right? We can choose to be thrown around, or we can choose to focus on what feels good. That may be emotional, talking about little Kobe. How busy our brains can be. To know that you have the power, I have the power, we all have the collective power to stay in our center, to take moment by moment awareness as the key kind of component to living a really grounded and happy life despite the chaos. And of course we pay attention to the chaos, it's there, but we don't have to let it control us. Take a few more moments just to observe your thought processes and patterns, what stories are running on repeat. Full moons often, full moons and new moons, they peel up the stuff, the old narratives, the wounds. They ask us to look at something that maybe we've been really trying not to look at. Look at it. Look at it when you're ready so that you can process it and move beyond. Not let it control you anymore. So be with yourself, be with all that is, the madness that can make up one single second, busyness, and be in awe of it all, be in awe of you, who you are, what you're here in this world to do. Maybe notice where you're holding yourself back. It's the stories, right? The narratives that hold us back. And this full moon is inviting us, okay, look at the stuff so that you can really be the best version of you that you can in this moment. How can we go out into the world and be of service? What are we doing? How can we be in our communities and of service? So let one hand come and rest onto the skull. You can imagine it kind of grounding in all of the busyness in the mind, and the other hand is going to rest over your heart. And take a few moments here, brain, busy brain, head brain, heart brain. I'll do another meditation on the heart brain and the intelligence of that really soon. I'll send it out. So we're trying to join the head brain, the heart brain, and then bring your hand on the head to the gut, the belly. So these three centers that we have, these three intelligence centers, all with neurons, all with their own intelligence, allowing ourselves to unite them, to trust them, especially the heart and the gut, those intuitive centers. And then allow the hand that's on your belly, brain, to rest over your heart. Take a long breath in here through the nose. And sigh it out the mouth. Let your hands come together in prayer. Thanks for being here, everyone. Namaste.